Hello everybody and welcome here to the lab powered by Rio Grande Credit Union for tonight's matchup between 7th place New Mexico United and 2nd place San Antonio FC. We'll be back in just a moment with pregame. The 2022 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. My name is Tyler Ortega, joined as always by Chris Hurst. And Chris, it is a tale of two clubs here tonight. New Mexico coming off back-to-back defeats out in Phoenix in the Open Cup and in the league. San Antonio, on the other hand, riding a hot streak, having just beaten Austin FC of MLS midweek.
Yeah, a tough road trip for New Mexico United. Really interesting to see how they bounce back in front of their home faithful tonight.
Let's go ahead and look here at tonight's players to watch, brought to you by NM Solar Group. And here first for New Mexico, we're going to look, Chris, at the 18-year-old, the Albuquerque native, Christian Nava. He's making his first professional start here tonight.
Yeah, Albuquerque High, Guadalajara Chivas, Rio Rapids alum. I know there's a lot of coaches are in town sitting now watching. Proud as punch, box of tricks, really hard to plan for because no one, maybe not even he, knows exactly what he's going to do every single time he gets the ball. Should be an exciting debut for him.
And on the other side, for the visitors, we're going to keep an eye on the 27-year-old out of New Zealand. It's Elliot Collier. He's got 2 caps for the New Zealand national team, coming off a goal actually in the midweek, the equalizer against Austin to send that game to extra time. He scored in his last 2 league games as well. You talk about a player that's in form.
Yeah, on form, has pedigree. 6 goals last year on loan at Memphis, 3 already this season. What a start to the season he's had so far.
We're going to go ahead and step aside here for just a moment. Actually, let's go ahead and look here at the keys to the game, brought to you by Garcia Automotive. These are attack through balls to set shots, success on set plays, and force the San Antonio attack into poor shot opportunities. Those brought to you by Garcia Automotive Group. Now we'll go ahead and step aside. We'll be back on the other side of this with lineups and kickoff.
Celebrating our annual spring event. Save up to 30% throughout the store. Plus 60-month special financing available. Shop the largest selection of in-stock furniture in New Mexico. Shop living room, dining room, bedroom, mattresses, and of course, outdoor living. Save up to 50% during our patio pre-sale event. American Home Furniture and Mattress. We guarantee you'll pay less.
Straight down into the core of the earth, 700 feet beneath the surface, stalagmites and stalactites, million-year-old all-stars in a natural stadium, carved by water, populated by bats, and marveled by all. Carlsbad Caverns National Park.
Game time.
Back here at the lab, Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst. Kickoff just moments away. Before we get to that, let's look here at tonight's starting lineups presented by Michelob Ultra. This is how New Mexico is going to line up. Zach Prince going with the return of Cody Mizell, El Gato Naranja back at the lab, Chris. As we haven't mentioned yet, he's back on a short-term loan from New York City FC. More on that later. But as we mentioned, the back three here for Zach Prince. Carl Saint-T making his start tonight. Christian Nava as well. He's going to be paired up top with Preston Tabordataka and Chris Wehan. Alan Marcina, this is how he's selecting his squad here tonight. It's the Salem, Oregon native Jordan Farr between the sticks. Carter Manley there on the back line, fresh off his extra time winner on Wednesday against Austin FC. And we're going to see Dylan up top with Collier as well. And of course, PC wearing the armband for San Antonio here today, Chris. It's been 185 days since these two clubs last met. That was back in October of 2021, October 20th. That game went to New Mexico by a score of 4-2. Illich was on the board. Wehan with a brace and Andrew Tenari scoring in that one as well. And this is the first meeting between these two sides here this season. As San Antonio, we mentioned earlier, coming in second in the Western Conference. This is Preston Tabordataka early. He has that one poked away. Seymour goes back to Mizell. So Mizell, it was announced over the weekend that he would be rejoining the squad on a short-term loan following the injury to Alex Tambakis. He played in the weekend contest in the Valley out at Wild Horse Pass against Rising. Of course, it was a 1-0 victory for Phoenix. New Mexico with an opportunity late from the spot, and Chris Wehan unable to convert. This is Manley. Guarded by Austin Yearwood. Carter Manley has that poked away by Harry Swartz. Carter Manley out of Elk Ridge, Maryland. If that name sounds familiar, United fans, it's because he was with RGV prior to his stop here in San Antonio. In the middle, that was Abu. He's looking for Manley up top, but it was poked away once again by Harry Swartz. This is Christian Nava, and the 18-year-old draws the first foul. It's the first Fiesta Auto Group free kick here of the evening. This is the injury report brought to you by Ben Sherman Law. Injured at work, Ben Sherman can help. For New Mexico, Alex Tambakis, Josh Suggs, Amando Moreno, and Kalen Ryden are the four names listed. Although we did see Kalen Ryden doing some bit of rehab work before gates opened here at the stadium. He looked to be running all right, so I'm not Zach Prince, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt. But if I had to guess, I wouldn't say it's going to be too long before Kalen Ryden is back. This is Harry Swartz, finds Wehan in the box, and unable to maintain possession there was Chris Wehan.
It's a little warning there for San Antonio. The one person you don't want to have any kind of time and space in the 18-yard box is Chris Wehan, and he just snuck away from his mark there.
Daniel Bruce playing the cross in, and it's poked away immediately. Ball played long, looking for Collier, and it's going to fall to William Seymour. And Seymour mishits that. Mizell has to come all the way out nearly to the corner flag and just deal with the pressure. A rare mishap there from the veteran Will Seymour.
Just watching the way, at the start of the game here, see how San Antonio really set up here. It looks more like a 3-5-2 rather than the 4-3-3 that was posted up before there. New Mexico United right now looks like a 3-5-2 with Preston and Nava up top as well. So both teams, it appears, matching up. It'll be interesting to see if Nava and Wehan push a little higher, but Preston is definitely the higher of everyone, the point of that attack.
Christian Nava causing some problems. We know how quick he is, Chris. Getting his first professional start here tonight. And Portillo looked to have caught Maloney with a high boot there. Connor Maloney out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Went to Penn State, previously played with Columbus Crew. The 26-year-old Maloney is going to require some medical attention here as we have a look at this TLC replay. And there you can see nothing malicious on the first look there from Justin Portillo. Just looked to have been clearing it. Maloney happened to catch a stray boot. Let's have a look here at the Coaches Spotlight presented by PNM. That's Zach Prince for New Mexico. He's picked up 8 points through his first 5 league games. Of course, was the assistant coach the first 3 years here in club history. The 2012 USL champion with Charleston. Maloney looks to still be receiving some attention, and while we've got a second, we'll have a look over at Alan Marcina, who has some playing experience himself. PAOK, Montreal Impact, previously managed San Antonio's NASL team, and he has some prior experience with the Canadian national team. Again, that is your Coaches Spotlight presented by PNM. So a Fiesta Auto Group free kick here for San Antonio FC. This is a club here, Chris, that had a lot of hype behind them coming into the season. Of course, losing to the eventual champions Orange County last year in the playoffs in the conference finals. They lost in PKs 5-3. As this one deflected in near goal, and luckily for Mizell, that was just wide because I don't think he was getting to it.
Yeah, we were kind of commenting off there when we saw both Collier and Dillon, both big boys as well. So their ball just slung into the box, and you could see Mizell's reaction there. He wasn't 100% sure that if that was on target, not convinced he was going to get there. So a little warning again for New Mexico United. Their set pieces have to be very wary of giving them away in dangerous areas.
Carl Saint-T. Christian Nava, a bit heavy of a first touch, but you see the speed that Christian Nava possesses. Able to close down on the loose ball quickly. Regain possession. This is Harry Swartz. He goes to ground and draws the foul. So it's going to be Justin Portillo here to deliver this set piece for New Mexico. Portillo has 2 assists in 5 starts this season for the black and yellow. That's tied for first on the team. Daniel Bruce also has 2 assists as well. There's Portillo, a lot of size on it. The San Antonio back line as this one goes back post, and it was Abu rising up to head that one away. This is Daniel Bruce, a Warrington, England native, making his 68th appearance for New Mexico here tonight.
I think early on in this season, Daniel Bruce is enjoying the faith that Zach Prince has put in him so far.
Cross goes in from Preston to Bordataka, and eventually it was poked away by Garcia.
Yeah, it's just, I think maybe going into the season, obviously in the past couple of years, Daniel Bruce, huge crowd favourite, but not necessarily a big minute guy. There was more of a role player. He played, for periods, then would drop out of the team. a lot of faith put in him by Zach Prince this year so far, and like I say, I think he's actually enjoying that role, and he's kind of fitting in and doing a good job for New Mexico United so far this year. I think honestly, he's probably doing a little more defending than what he's maybe used to in the past, but once he gets those shackles off and starts breaking forward, I'm sure the crowd will be looking forward to some more Brucey bangers.
Well, and not only that, but I think what you just hit on there is all the defending he's been doing and the faith that Zach Prince has. That just speaks to the growth of Daniel Bruce as an individual player over the last couple of years, right? I mean, he was an impact sub, and we saw what he could do. Is this one goes in and going to the back post. That was very dangerous there as Gomez was on the end of that one.
Yeah, I mean, Collier, he'll want that one back. That was a chance. As we said in the pregame, he's a poacher, and that ball dropped to him in the 6-yard box. I think he was just caught off guard, 'cause I think it just dropped over Yearwood's head. We'll see here. Just dropped over Yearwood at the last hit. Was it Seymour there?
Yeah.
Seymour's head there, yeah, and just kind of caught him off guard. And then Gomez sneaking in at the back post as well. Didn't expect it to get past everyone. You always tell kids when they're in there, expect the unexpected and kind of take a gamble. And you can see he just wasn't quite expecting it.
Replays tonight are brought to you by TLC Plumbing. TLC is the leader in New Mexico when it comes to home and business service needs. Excellent tackle there from Justin Portillo, but then he has it ripped right back. Manley now crosses in, and just a step behind that was PC. San Antonio creating some very good opportunities early on, Chris.
Yeah, and what a ball that was out wide by Collier, and perfectly weighted, so Marley didn't even need to take a touch, just whipped the ball in first time in that corridor of uncertainty between the defenders and the goalkeeper. No one really wants to touch it. Unfortunately for San Antonio, there was no one there to poke it home.
Falls to Abu, now Gomez. Nice little dummy, but Yearwood comes in to dispossess, and here's Swartz now. Christian Nava, the first academy product to make a professional debut for New Mexico. In fact, Nava played against this very same San Antonio FC side last season in a game that was featured on ESPN2, and while San Antonio was victorious in that one, Christian Nava was able to feature for the first time on national TV as a local, not even just academy product, but as you mentioned earlier, Chris, having played through the youth systems here in Albuquerque with Guadalajara Chivas and Rio Rapids as well.
Yeah, I know. Eduardo's hopefully watching, and he'll be sitting there really proud, and Cole from Rio Rapids as well, Cole Borgeson, he'll be really proud watching this game, seeing Christian take that next step in his career.
This is a Bank of America corner kick. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking is just around the corner. Nava goes down, Portillo plays it back in, was looking for Yearwood. Bruce plays this one back in. Loose ball and eventually poked out by Maloney. Harry Swartz. Maloney does well there. Austin Yearwood was looking to rise up and meet one of those previous crosses there. I think he knows a thing or two about scoring against San Antonio here at the Lab, Chris. Here's Preston Tabordataka, and it was parried away by Jordan Farr. The offside flag was up anyway. Wouldn't have counted.
It's going to be I'm sure New Mexico United coaching staff know it's going to be a tough task. One of the stingiest defenses in the USL Championship visiting Albuquerque tonight, but great little chance there. You can see he was kind of hanging out on the end line there, and right call, that was offside, but decent little work in there, decent little chance. But yeah, only 4 goals conceded so far, and Farr 2 clean sheets in a row against El Paso and Orange County. Really has made that #1 jersey his own.
New Mexico have played both Orange County and El Paso so far this season, conceding just 1 goal to each. St. with the interception was looking for the run of Preston. And coming in to break that one up was Kamiri. Collier plays it back for Manley. St. once again gets it up to Weehan. Swartz back to St. Carl St. made his professional debut right here at the Lab on opening night against Lights. He was an 87th minute substitute. Most recently played with Violet AC in the Haitian League. It was the top flight in Haiti where they were the league champions last season. Swartz going to ground once again, fouled, earning the free kick.
That's the first time Harry Schwartz has really got the run on Manley there on this side of the field here, where Manley's obviously had 2-3 crosses already in the box, really pushing New Mexico United back. But there, little deft touch by Christian Nava there, just set Harry Schwartz away, and Manley had to end it with a foul.
Here's Seymour looking for Daniel Bruce. Get throw in here for the visitors. Shannon Gomez out of Trinidad and Tobago. Most recently played with Sac Republic. Weehan earns the corner kick. Another Bank of America corner kick here. 16th minute. Justin Portillo will make his way over here to the near side. New Mexico have been successful with set pieces so far this season, and not just yet. Here's Daniel Bruce, comes back in possession. Outside of the foot, looking for Nava over at the far post. Portillo now into Preston, who turns. Preston eventually has it poked away by Kamiri.
Decent little ball in there. I was about to say, New Mexico United, they might have to think of different ways on set piece deliveries just because of the size advantage that San Antonio have. But Seymour there got first contact, and you would say, I'm not sure a lofted pass into the back post into Christian Nava's head against a massive centre back is exactly what he wants. But in the end, it was some actually pretty desperate defending by San Antonio to clear their lines.
Here's Christian Nava. Youngest player in New Mexico United club history to start for the club here tonight. 18 years, 7 months, and 21 days. And a yellow card has been issued now into the book. And that's going to be number 3, Mitch Tainter. Yellow cards brought to you by Wendy's. For every yellow card, New Mexico United fans receive a free breakfast sandwich at participating locations. So an 18th minute yellow card for Mitch Tainter.
Lovely little ball around the corner there from Christian Nava. Daniel Bruce continuing his run after playing into his feet. And I'm not sure it was needed. I think it was going to be dealt with the covering defender there, but Tainter felt he definitely pulled on Daniel Bruce's shirt a little bit. I think Daniel Bruce was selling a little bit as well and made it look a little worse than maybe what it was. But dangerous position for a set piece for New Mexico United here.
And Tainter, the 27-year-old, making his 165th league appearance here tonight. He's got 10 goals to his name. Picked up a yellow card. Portillo goes back post, and Harry Schwartz unable to head that one down. As Jordan Farr was looking to play a long ball, but Tete had that one covered. Bruce. Zabu trying to work out of some tight space, and he does well there. Maloney turns, looking for the run of Dylan. Just a little too much on that one there.
Yeah, you see, for New Mexico United, it really is Chris Rehan just sitting a little deeper with Nava and Preston leading the line. So it is still 3-5-2, so both teams doing a 3-5-2. That little cat and mouse game going on again this week. But Chris Rehan doing a lot of work defensively. Still to see that spark that we've been waiting for so far this season from him in an attacking sense.
Good crowd on hand here tonight, Chris. Expecting over 11,000 for this Western Conference matchup here at the Lab. The ball flicked on by Preston Tabordataka. Kamiri has that attempt blocked. Bruce trying to play the through ball, and Preston just unable to get there. Down go a couple of the field signs.
Yeah, just a little overhit, but you see the movement by Preston. He's trying to move the centre-backs around, maybe create space for either himself or his teammates. As you said, just a little overhit there by Daniel Bruce, but still probing. Both teams, San Antonio probably had the clearer of the chances so far in the opening 20 or so minutes here, but New Mexico United definitely have got a foothold in the game now. Territory-wise, are pushing a little more, now just trying to work and see if they can create any clear-cut chances.
And Preston playing against a team that he's previously played for. He actually made 2 appearances for San Antonio FC during the 2020 campaign. Did not score any goals during those 2 appearances. He's got 13 goals to his USL Championship name. 4 of those coming with Hartford, 8 with Lights in 2019. And of course, the 1 goal he scored in El Paso for New Mexico earlier this season. Here's Swartz, comes up with the takeaway. Swartz looking to play it across the box, and luckily, Jordan Farr didn't have to make a save there.
That was a chance. That was a chance. Great pickup by Schwartz there. Curious why he didn't finish, you know. He at least go for the shot. Go for a shot across the goalkeeper. Maybe he parries it straight into Preston's feet. You know, there was lots of bodies in there. And especially, he's had a good start of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Harry Swartz already with a couple of goals to his name. After only making 12 appearances last season, missed majority of the season with a sports hernia. Swartz, he's scored in 2 out of the 3 home games here at the Lab for New Mexico. It's Cody Mizell back in the trademark orange kit, while Alex Tambakis recovers from injury. MLS champion Cody Mizell has a nice ring to it. Cody, the first player in New Mexico United history to go on to the MLS and win a championship. In dramatic fashion, too. NYC beating Portland Timbers. Penalties. PC tried to flick it on. Miscommunication there. He was looking for the run of Shannon Gomez. Never came. It's going to be a goal kick here for New Mexico.
Going back to the Chris Wehan earlier on, if there's a forward and attacking player who is struggling for, struggling to maybe make as an impact as what he would like early on in the season here, if there's a team that he has enjoyed playing against more than San Antonio, I'm not sure who they are, but 6 goals in 4 games so far for Chris Wehan against San Antonio. But, of course, this is a San Antonio team that, as we said earlier, is the stingiest in terms of goals allowed so far this season. But, again, he's such an important player and has been in the past for New Mexico United. At some point, he's going to break onto the scene. And if you're a New Mexico United fan, you obviously hope that that's tonight.
Chris Wehan still in search of his first goal on the season. He's closing in on his 30th appearance as well. Closing on his 30th assist, I should have said. Sorry, got distracted. I don't know if the cameras can quite pick it up, but there looks to be some sort of drone hovering above the field. It doesn't seem like our official has noticed it either. Huh. Jordan Farr will get ready to send this one deep. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select League's Choice, Player's Choice, and Chris Wehan nearly finding the back of the net. As we were just speaking about that, Chris, would have been the opposite of the announcer's jinx there.
Yeah, I would claim some kind of assist there, I guess, talking about it. But great movement, dragged San Antonio's defense to their right side, and Chris Wehan just breaking from a little deeper, found space, and that, we mentioned it earlier, the ball dropped to him earlier on, nothing really came of it, but once again, ball found him pretty wide open, and for an attacking player of his caliber, that was a chance.
Well, you mentioned it, right? Like, it's going to happen for Wehan eventually this season. He's going to score. He's going to find his groove. And he's one of those players that once he finds his groove, he's hard to stop. He came back to New Mexico midway through last season, a little bit more than midway through last season, scored 10 goals for the club following the transfer, which led the team. Strong defensive play there by Tete. Nava, you got to give him credit. He's ambitious, going for those ones. Here's Wehan, turns. Christian Nava has it poked away.
You can see, though, like with Nava, I think even he would admit he's not expecting to win those aerial duels, but the fact that he's still challenging for them means that the San Antonio defenders are not able to just do whatever they want with the ball. They're not able to just drop it down on a dime for the six or something to play out from there. So he's still being a nuisance, and he's had a couple of little flashes already tonight, Nava, where very calm on the ball. Doesn't seem like the occasion is getting to him too much either.
Well, if his professional debut against Colorado Springs was anything to go off of, he's not really scared of anything, and by that, as most United fans may remember, it was the nutmeg, the backheel nutmeg with a double team closing down on him. That tells you exactly who Christian Nava is as a player. Here's Harry Swartz. Gets it off to the 18-year-old. And after Christian Nava did that, he got a little bit of playing time here for the first team. He went with the New Mexico United Academy over to the USL Academy Cup, where he then won the tournament's MVP. Again, just tells you what kind of player Christian Nava is. So if there's any 18-year-old on any roster here in this league that's ready for their debut, it's got to be this kid.
Well, yeah, I mean, and thinking back, obviously, last year we were doing the game as well, and Gallegos, who obviously got his move in the summer out to Denmark. I'll let you try and say the team's name because I can't.
Nope.
Okay, fair enough. So let's just say Denmark. But yeah, it just proves that, if you do well in these leagues, there are opportunities, and, people are watching, and, it just shows the caliber of this league where players can move on. Like we've already said, Cody Mizell moved to NYCFC. There's been a lot of that, and these young players, that really is, I know in Europe, that is a big push where European clubs really are looking at the American market and trying to get players in from this market. Well,
and now you're starting to see that trickle down into this New Mexico roster as this ball falls and the offside flag is up. So Wehan dinging off the post. Won't even register on the stat sheet, unfortunately. But what I was going to say is you can see that starting to make its way into this New Mexico United roster, not just with Christian Nava, but you look at number 18 on the field for the black and yellow, Carl Saint-T. That's another one who's just 19 years old, getting this opportunity, getting the move from his native Haiti to America. Also, not just that, Radiovuka as well. He's a young 22-year-old who's coming from Ghana, the Ghanaian champs at Accra Hearts of Oak. It's starting to happen a lot more and more. We saw it with Mishi Galina with the Switchbacks getting the move to LAFC last year as well. So it just speaks, again, volumes to how much the league has grown in just a few short years.
Yeah, and it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be a player within the States, because there are so many more opportunities now compared to what they were 10 years ago, and the pathway to make sure that you do actually get noticed and you do get seen and you do get put in the right environment.
Bruce does well to hold off Gomez, then draws the foul. Gomez not very ecstatic about that call. Shannon Gomez, the 25-year-old out of Trinidad and Tobago. Spent the last 4 seasons, with Sac Republic. He was a mainstay in that lineup. 34 appearances in 2018. That was his most in a season. He followed that up last season in 2021, making 20 appearances for the club. So we've got an updated score there from Colorado, from Tulsa, as Switchbacks up top, 2-0. The halftime break. PC plays this one back to Farr. The reigning champs race their way to the Midwest to face the new-look Indy 11 as the USL on ESPN continues. Don't miss Indy 11 taking on Orange County SC Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes. Here's Bruce looking to poke that one forward for Harry Swartz. It's almost going to get to Weehan. And an excellent sliding challenge there from Daniel Bruce, who then wins the free kick.
Wow. I mean, that was insane. He just ran the full width of the pitch to connect a pass. Then he won his own header, won his own rebound, and then went absolutely flying into a tackle, which, let's be fair, he had to get absolutely right, because if he got that wrong, it could have been him going into the book or worse. And then managed to pop up and win the foul as well, which he does more than any other player, I'm sure.
So this sets the stage here for Justin Portillo. It's a Fiesta Auto Group free kick. Portillo looking for Swartz.
You could see what they were trying to do there. It's such a hard angle. It was so straight. It was really hard to create an extra, to create the angle for a chance, for a cross, and try to just drop it into Harry Swartz, and Harry just got the flick a little wrong where it just carried straight through to Farr.
Here's Nava, lays it off for Harry Swartz. Nava gets it back over to Saint-T. The two teenagers connecting. Swartz has that poked away. Harry Swartz out of Needham, Massachusetts. Had 2 assists last season. Ball scooped forward by Portillo, and it's poked away. It's Garcia coming in there. Fabian Garcia out of France, the 27-year-old. Got a lot of experience in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th divisions in French football. Made his move over to USL Championship in 2019 with Austin Bold, where he spent the last 3 seasons. Tete plays this one forward for Preston, and Preston able to get by the defender. Here goes Preston into the box, and it's going to be a corner kick. Bank of America corner kick coming up here for New Mexico.
You can see that his pace and power just terrifies any kind of defenders. He just turns the corner there and just puts the afterburners on once he breaks that first tackle, and running straight at the heart of the defense, and takes a well-timed tackle, which it had to be to concede the corner.
Yeah, Kamiri took a stab at that one, got it wrong, and next thing you know is he's looking at the number on the back of Preston's shirt. Here's Portillo playing in the corner. Bruce. And tried to make the Sports Center top 10 again, did Daniel Bruce.
Yeah, he saw as soon as that came out, you could see his eyes lit up. Here it goes again. But ran around it a little bit, ran the long way around to get it onto his favoured right foot, and just got the connection a little bit wrong.
Daniel Bruce with that absolute blinder against Sac Republic back in 2019, which was in fact on the Sports Center top 10.
So don't forget, this fixture's not being without its absolute worldies. Austin Yearwood, of all people, stepping in from the left-hand side of the pitch, using his weaker right foot and smashing one in the top corner.
That one occurred in week 9 of last season. He also made the team of the week that week as well. That goal won goal of the year last year, Chris, and it happened on this very goal that San Antonio are attacking right now. The first and only goal of Austin Yearwood's professional career, that one.
What a goal it was.
Yeah. Off the free kick here, and that one's going to go out for a corner kick.
It was Yearwood got the contact then. He had to. It was, again, San Antonio have some big boys there, and it was a beautifully weighted ball put in there by Abu, I believe it was. And yeah, it had to be dealt with, and Austin Yearwood, all he could do was flick it out for a corner, but it had to be done.
It was Abu on that delivery. It's going to be Abu again here on this corner kick for the visitors. 0-0 here in the 36th minute. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here at the lab. It is Earth Day against San Antonio FC. Sitting in second place in the Western Conference here in USL Championship. Our official just having a brief word with Carl Saint-T, and it looks like Yasser Kamiri. Kamiri out of Tunisia. The ball goes back post, and that was dangerous across the face of goal.
That was a vicious delivery there. Had so much pace on it. All it needed was the slightest of touches, and it would have gone flying into the back of the net. But luckily for New Mexico United, no such touch.
New Mexico handed their first league loss of this season on Saturday at the hands of Phoenix Rising. San Antonio, on the other hand, unbeaten in league play. They're 5 wins, or excuse me, they have 1 loss. I stand corrected. They have 5 wins, 1 loss. That 1 loss coming at home. They're perfect on the road, however. 3 wins, 9 points out of 9. And that is what sees them sitting second in the Western Conference behind Switchbacks, who've been on just an absolute tear and are continuing that by all accounts here this evening. Rehan heads it forward for Preston, and it's going to make its way all the way back to Austin Yearwood, the North Carolina native. PC flicks it forward, headed away by Seymour. Falls back to the Brazilian. Rehan has that one poked away by PC. And Abu will play it all the way back to Jordan Farr. In the box goes Justin Dillon, and Cody Mizell has to come out and make the grab.
Really great defender by Will Seymour there. I was just about to say, like, as there was a little lull in the game there, Seymour's quietly been going about his business and has become a very, very important player for New Mexico. And obviously, there's no secret, Kalen riding out, he anchors the defense normally. Will Seymour was just watching him there as the ball went forward. He's dragging his defenders up, trying to squeeze the space, keeping the line nice and high, and there really used all his experience just to shield the ball back all the way back to Cody Mizell.
Yeah, Will Seymour has been a mainstay in this back line after missing opening night due to the birth of his daughter. It's been a staple on that team sheet there for Zach Prince, Chris. As you said, he's been filling in rather well for Kalen Ryden, who's been missing with injury, and there's Seymour once again. And not only has Seymour been defending well, but he's eventually going to score a goal off one of these set pieces. We've seen him get at least 5, 6 really good attempts and just unable to get them on frame.
Yeah, he's certainly the go-to guy, I would say, for Portillo on those set-piece deliveries where he tries to find Seymour's head for sure. So, yeah, you would imagine that at some point that connection is going to pay dividends.
Fifth appearance, fifth start here for Will Seymour. Ball looking for Bordataka, and Christian Nava goes down, winning the free kick.
I got caught laughing there. It's just, again, he knows he has no business like trying to win that header there, but he's just a nuisance. He's just that box of tricks. I think he's actually saying that as well. Yeah, it's just funny where, like I say, he has no fear. He's no fear. He's going to go up and challenge for that no matter what, and it's a pain. It's a pain to defend against, I'm sure.
Christian Nava, every bit of 5'3", Chris. Justin Portillo plays this one in, and it misses everybody. In fact, it looks like got a touch off of Justin Dillon, so it's going to be a Bank of America corner kick coming up here for the home side. But going back to my point, Christian Nava is 5'3", and the guys that he's jumping against are listed at 6'4", 6'4". Yasser Kamiri is 6'5", and Christian Nava 5'3", no fear. Here's Justin Portillo looking for his third assist on the season. 2019 USL champion with Real Monarchs. Goes out to Bruce, who scoops one right back in to the waiting arms of Jordan Farr. Here's PC. Collier passes that one straight to Daniel Bruce, but the foul is going to be called, and a yellow card issued to Rashid Tete. 43rd minute yellow card. Tete, he's going to have to be very careful for the rest of this match. Zach Prince does have Alexi Soahi on the bench.
And you can see Zach Prince is pleading the case to the fourth official. At least I think it's the fourth official, unless he's shouting down at the other coaching staff. But you can see, I mean, like everyone else, I was following the ball. You can see probably just a little late there. It was more awkward than anything else, I would say. I'm not entirely convinced there was any malice there at all, but you can see obviously Collier is hurt. He stayed down, received some treatment there, and he appears to be a little uncomfortable. But again, I think it was more accidental contact, rather than any kind of malice in that at all. And I'm sure that's what Zach Prince is saying to the fourth official right now.
Elliot Collier, the New Zealand international, scored in his last 2 league games. Comes right back on. So set piece here. Garcia delivers, going back post. And Mizell just sees this one out. It's a touch.
See, from our vantage point, it looked like that was maybe just going wide there, but you can see Cody Mizell taking no chances there and just pushing it around just to make sure it wasn't going to nestle in that bottom corner there. Same conversation as last corner kick, right?
Yeah, Yasser Kamiri and Carl Saint-Eve just getting well acquainted down there on the goal line. Abu delivers this one in. And that was an attempt to be rude by Tainter.
And that was a chance.
It was.
He'd managed to wriggle free of his marker. He was 5, maybe 6 yards out at the most. Had found some space, was wide open, and yeah, didn't even test the keeper, which would be disappointing for him.
'45th minute, scoreless here at the lab between New Mexico and San Antonio. Closing in on the end of the first 45 minutes. Bank of America corner kick coming up here. And there are 2 minutes of New Mexico Pinon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. So this is Justin Portillo. Portillo takes a bounce, and we've got a foul called. It's going to be called against Preston Tabordataka, and immediately calling for the trainers. So it looked like Preston attempted a bicycle kick in the middle of all of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Preston just landed funny, but I believe, is that PC down there, I think? Maybe caught a boot to the head again, which isn't the first time tonight as well. It looks like there's a yellow card coming out here, maybe for Preston.
We'll wait to see. PC on his feet, so that's good. And yes, a yellow card going to be issued to Preston Tabordataka. Yellow cards brought to you by Wendy's. For every yellow card, New Mexico United fans receive a free breakfast sandwich at participating locations. I'm sure perhaps a little bit more stoppage time than we originally planned for following that. Still scoreless. New Mexico in search of a goal here. This is Harry Swartz looking long for Preston Tabordataka, headed away by Yasser Kamiri. Here's Preston. Plays the cross in, and it's going to find Daniel Bruce here on the near side. Goes back to Tete. Jump ball in there, and it's Jordan Farr climbing the ladder. And that is the end of the first half here at the lab. Scoreless between New Mexico and San Antonio. Chris, real quick, your takeaways from that first 45.
Bit of a chess match. No, a couple of chances, no real clear-cut chances. Don't remember the goalkeepers really having to make any unbelievable saves. So yeah, both teams kind of feeling each other out.
It's halftime. Score is 0-0, presented by First Financial Credit Union. We're going to go ahead and step aside. We'll be back on the other.
For over 50 years, BIOS has been proudly serving New Mexico. We love being a part of this community and the New Mexico United family. and helping everyone from homeowners to home builders create a space that's both beautiful and practical. Shopping local is about more than getting a great deal. It's about supporting your community, your neighbors, your friends. Visit Bios in Albuquerque and see how shopping local supports your New Mexico community.
There is a place where there are no roads, no conveyances beyond 2 legs or 4. It's a vast swath of land set aside for adventure, for animals, for nature. We're visitors here in America's first designated wilderness, the Gila.
I'm on the way to the top, dripping, I need me a mop, I went and caught the balloons, now I need to pull the charger out the lot, lately been praying a lot, I'm to the thanks of the God, I need no help with the hurt, but not think of all the blessings I got. I'm a young kid from New Mexico, just trying to make something out of my life. I see too many people want to slip, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm moving right.
Welcome back here to the lab. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst on hand. 0-0 between New Mexico United and San Antonio FC. Halftime is brought to you by First Financial Credit Union. Let's go ahead and look here. First off, Chris, let's jump into, we've got some standings to look at. We also want to mention the Somos Unidos Foundation, Art, Sport, Unity, and Community. So this is what the standings look like so far here in the Western Conference. San Diego Loyal, 16 points. There you see Switchbacks and San Antonio FC at 15. Lights and Rising sitting there at 12. New Mexico nestled in the 7th place right above the playoff line with 8 points.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's really worried about the playoffs right now, but you can see how crazy it is that some teams played 8 games, some teams 6, so it's I wouldn't put too much stock into the standings right now, but still interesting to look at.
This is a preview of the action coming up here. Starting off on Sunday, you've got Loudoun taking on Birmingham Legion. Indy 11 doing battle cross-conference with Orange County. Then on Wednesday, Memphis taking on Tampa Bay. Then Birmingham Legion facing Charleston Battery. And then on Saturday, you're going to have Detroit City hosting Red Bulls 2. And Loudoun United going cross-conference with El Paso Locomotive. Up next, we've got the news and notes from around the league here. Starting off first, the Open Cup third round is set. Upsets including Detroit City beating Columbus Crew. San Antonio, as we mentioned, beating Austin. And in extra time, Union Omaha, Alex Touche scoring in the dying minutes to beat Chicago Fire. We'll actually send it to extra time and go to penalties there against Chicago Fire. Cody Mizell back with New Mexico United here on a short-term loan where he tallied 7 clean sheets in 2020. And the schedule is set for the Open Cup round of 32. The 24 winners that advance from this week's games are ready to get their games going here in the next couple of weeks. Those games taking place May 10th through 11th. Let's have a look here at the scores from around the league. San Antonio beating El Paso Locomotive 1-0. The winning goal scored by Collier in that one. Roots putting up a 4 spot on Loudoun, beating them 4-1. Orange County drawing with their rivals out on the West Coast, Sac Republic 1-1, and Loyal falling to Louisville 5-2. Upcoming schedule here for New Mexico. We're going to be right back here in just a couple of weeks. It's Cinco de Mayo against San Diego Loyal. You're not going to want to miss that one. Some big games coming up ahead, of course, traveling out to Sac Republic. Before that, you're going out to Charleston, and then you're going to be facing a visiting Phoenix Rising team here at the lab who you just faced twice over the last week. And this is the team of the week here, presented by Clear Audio. You see Ben Lunt following his standout performance against New Mexico. Emra Clemente, you see Garcia, who is on the pitch here tonight. Danny Trejo from Las Vegas Lights, Edgardo Rito, a bunch of players from the USL's Western Conference. So we're going to go ahead, step aside, catch our breath, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back here to the lab. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst on hand. Scoreless first 45 between New Mexico United and San Antonio FC. Let's go ahead and have a look here at the first half stats. Chris, this is how things shake out. 3 shots to 4 in favor of San Antonio. New Mexico, however, with possession 56 to 44.
Yeah, and I could have probably guessed that, you know, in New Mexico United, they have had a lot of the ball really in the middle third, though. Really struggled to create any massive clear-cut chances. Like you can see, both shots on target, both just 1 for each team, 3 shots, 7 shots total in the game. It really has been a kind of battle of attrition there, but I would say San Antonio have shown a couple of flashes where in transition they could be very dangerous in the second half here.
Let's go ahead and have a look now at the first half highlights presented by Will Ferguson and Associates. We're here for you, and we're here to win. And Chris, with a scoreless first 45, it's going to be a lot of defensive work here, but that's a good thing if you're a New Mexico United fan.
Yeah, and this was really early on, and you can see the ball just drops over Will Seymour's head, kind of catches Collier off guard a little bit, and Gomez certainly isn't expecting it to carry all the way through to him, so just misfires a little bit.
Yeah, Mizell, in his return to the lab, hasn't had a whole lot to do. We saw him come up with some big saves last weekend in Phoenix. Fortunately, again, for this United defense, really hasn't been called on it too many times. That from Weehan, an attempt that hits the bar, although Preston, just prior to that, was called for offside.
Yeah, and as you can see, the chances were very few and far between. Clear-cut chances, really very few and far between. So, looking for a little spark in the second half here.
Looking for a spark in the second half, indeed. It's been scoreless so far. We're going to step aside. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half.
For over 45 years, we have been roofing New Mexico. Even though you may not know it, you have been covered by one of our roofs at some point. Now we're bringing some high-quality craftsmanship that protects New Mexico's commercial buildings into the residential marketplace. Get a commercial quality roof on your home today. National Roofing, local company, national name.
Call 882-3000 or visit nationalroofing.com. Babe, it's 8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Game time.
As a first-generation college student, I didn't have the guidance needed to navigate through college, but CNN made that easy for me, and they helped me every step of the way. What makes CNN special is that no matter what your interest is in, they're bound to have it here. You're looking for a certificate and associates or even some kind of training, they're going to have that flexibility for you. My time at CNN has showed me that I can dream bigger than what I ever thought I could for myself. At CNN, you're not just a student, you're part of the family.
Welcome back here to Isotopes Park, New Mexico United and San Antonio FC 0-0 at halftime. Waiting for the players to return after the halftime break here. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst.
2.5 minutes before the halftime break. Chris, if you're New Mexico United coming off of that scoreless first half, what's got to change?
That's a really good question, Tyler. I'm sure that's Zach Prince and those guys, I'm sure they've been trying to work out. Like, it's stick or twist. San Antonio, a team that's very much on form at this early part of the season here, and right now they've held them at arm's length. They've kept them. There was the early little flurry of chances for San Antonio. Then since then, they've really managed to keep them at bay. So in that respect, you're absolutely thrilled. The one thing that will be concerning is the lack of production at the other end of the field. So I'm sure that'll be what they'll be trying to work out, is what can they give up at the back or defensively to try and generate those goal-scoring chances.
Well, and for New Mexico, some of the chances have been there, right? Christian Nava, he's gotten the ball in some really dangerous spaces. He's had some good opportunities. Chris Wehan has had some really good looks at goal as well. Preston Tabordataka has gotten through. So it's not like the opportunities have been very scarce. Although they've only got one shot on target, they did manage to get 3 shots in that first half. So it's going to be interesting to see here what exactly Zach Prince changes, whether it's subs, whether it's tactics, whether it's formation going into the second half, because this is a big game, Chris. This is a really big game against a really good opponent.
Yeah, and especially with, like the 2 ties leading up to the Phoenix Rising trip, and then, those 2 defeats, one in the league obviously is the one that matters now, being out of the Open Cup. So yeah, they certainly don't want to go and start getting on a streak of losses potentially, so that would be the first thing, is definitely don't lose this game. 100%, that would be the first and foremost. But again, knowing the coaching staff, knowing this team, knowing that they're playing at home, they have to take the initiative. They have to go and try and win this game as well.
Well, and on the other side, for Alan Marcina and San Antonio FC, when you go to these away games against other top opposition in your conference, you've got to take those points if you're going to be challenging for a title. Because we know how this can shake out at the end of the year. The difference in having the first, third, or fourth seed can be a matter of 3 points sometimes.
Yeah, and obviously they've found a formula that works as well. They are very hard, so far this season, impossible to beat on the road. So they've certainly found the formula there. And they've picked up some wins there as well. So that'll be at the back of the mind as well in New Mexico United coaching staff, where they certainly don't want to give, San Antonio another stripe, another scalp that they could say, where, they've done what they set out to do in the first half. They've kept New Mexico United quiet. San Antonio, I was reading the stat earlier, 5 of 7 games they've managed to stop the opposing team from scoring in the first half. So they are, again, very, very hard to break down.
New Mexico yet to be shut out at home this season. Looking to continue that. Fiesta Auto Group free kick here for New Mexico. Yearwood nearly goes to ground there. Trying to get by Maloney is Austin Yearwood. Gets it right back from Justin Portillo. Couple of subs warming up behind the New Mexico United bench. It's Jerome Kiesewetter, and it looks like Nico Brett now heading out to warm up as well. Michael Azira. So Zach Prince, he's got plenty of options off the bench. Nico Brett, Kiesewetter. You can also bring in Sam Hamilton, Michael Azira. Sawahi is a good option off the bench as well. You've already got Rashid Tete, who's on a yellow card. San Antonio appealing for a handball. Not going to get the call.
Yeah, he certainly has some weapons, right? I mean, Nico Brett has obviously started the season very well. Very well, you know, with 3 goals already. We're talking about Collier with 3 goals. Nico Brett as well. And big decision to drop him to the bench today. You know, it's obviously been a heavy week. Travel, some issues with the travel as well. Getting back into town. There's been a crazy week of weather here in New Mexico as well. So you know, maybe a little squad rotation, maybe just trying to freshen it up. But having Nico Brett to come off the bench is obviously a big weapon.
Ball goes into the box. Daniel Bruce has to head that one away to deal with it. Yeah, and you know, that was my initial thought when I saw the 11 for tonight with Nico Brett in the 18 not starting, just giving him a rest, right? From what I can think of, he started every match so far this season for New Mexico, aside from, I believe, the Open Cup first round match against Las Vegas Legends. But he's making starts every single week. He played on Saturday and Wednesday, both in Phoenix. Yeah, I mean, can't get mad, right?
No, and it is, you know, like that's one area of the field where New Mexico United, they do have a lot of depth, you know, like maybe the defense is a little stretched right now with some of the injuries or the more defense-minded players, let's say. But, you know, up top there are some very good options at hand for Zach Prince and his staff.
Swartz pokes this one forward. Weehan looking to make the run for it, but he's walled off by Tainter. Tainter was looking for Collier up top. Falls back to Tete. The Ghanaian Rashid Tete. Tete not playing either of the matches in Phoenix. He's making his 65th appearance for the club here tonight. His 59th start. And that, a big steal there from Christian Nava. Nava was trying to play a curling ball forward. It was slightly deflected. Here's Portillo. Spreads it for Yearwood. Trying to cross that in was Harry Swartz, and it was blocked by Manley.
There was a split second there where it looked very similar with Austin Yearwood breaking out from left centre-back in the very similar area of the field. I just thought lightning couldn't strike twice, could it?
Swartz has that cross headed away. Here he is again, Chris. You may see it. Instead, decides to play the cross in, and it's met by Abu. That ball given away to Daniel Bruce. And Daniel Bruce sizes one up. And Daniel Bruce just sends it wide. You mentioned earlier, Chris, we were on the lookout for another Brucey banger, and you nearly got your wish.
It's getting a little creepy. There's a couple of things going that way today, but you could say that before he'd even trapped the ball, he'd made his mind up that he was going to hit this. Just pops that ball, just gives himself a little space just to step onto it, and you could see he had it covered. He pulled his hands back at the last second. He was really confident in his angles there and just pulled back. But first real sight of the second half.
And it was a dipping ball hit there from Daniel Bruce. That's exactly how you want to strike him from that range.
Well hit, and that would have been trouble. If it was on target, I think Farr would have had it covered, but I don't think he would have been able to handle it cleanly.
You know, and one thing that we haven't mentioned about here tonight is there is a little bit of wind. It's not excessive like it's been here the last couple of days or so in the 40s and 50-mile sustained winds. Not that here tonight by any means, but there is definitely there's a good shot of the flags here tonight. It's a little bit of wind, perhaps. Might have made the ball move a little bit.
No, and it was the same the last home game as well, but it's not nearly as bad as that.
And this ball going down to the byline, crossed. And no, they're going to say it's an offside as Gomez has the flag waved.
Now, the last home game, it certainly did affect the game. And I don't know if you remember, right at the start of the second half here, San Antonio FC clipped the ball forward and Cody Mizell started coming for it. Seymour didn't know whether to deal with it, and finally he did, but it just held up in the wind as well. So it's definitely affecting the game a little bit. We were talking earlier, if what happened here yesterday was here today, the game would have been in jeopardy. Like that was an insane windstorm that we had here, where we have beautiful views of the mountains except when the wind blows here.
The foul is called. It's going to be a free kick here for the visitors. Fiesta Auto Group free kick. This is Garcia. Garcia nearly gave that one away, and eventually it was Preston Tabordataka. Had it poked away. Swartz looks to play it quickly. And Preston, here's a guy with only one goal this season for New Mexico. You feel with how hard he works, with all the runs he makes, the opportunities he gets, probably should have at least 3.
Yeah, and he's again, I think we've talked about in the first half, he's just so powerful. Once he gets up ahead of steam, he's really hard to stop. So that's something that San Antonio, I'm sure, have talked about and tried to work out how to do that, is don't let Preston Tabordataka turn and run at you. Try and keep him facing away from your goal. Definitely don't let him get up ahead of steam.
And that was very well done there by Austin Yearwood. Yearwood was voted by his peers as the 2021 New Mexico United Defensive Player of the Year.
Consistent.
Yep.
He was so consistent last year, and obviously, the cherry on top was the screaming goal that we talked about as well. But as a player where played a ton of minutes last year, and just very rarely put a step wrong.
Did have to deal with a bit of an injury earlier this season, but he looks to be back in the lineup, back in form. Foul called there. That one's going to go against Justin Portillo. Now the official, actually it looks like he's having a word with Carl Saint-T. Saint-T, the 19-year-old Haitian. So this is set piece here for San Antonio. Ball played in, it's headed away immediately by Will Seymour. Garcia once again plays it back. Tete's there. Tainter now, looking back post, dealt with by Swartz. Portillo looking to play that one up for Harry Swartz, but San Antonio able to get to it first. Maloney. Here's Dylan now. Excuse me, not Dylan, that's Collier, as he blasts that one well over the crossbar.
Decent start to the second half. San Antonio FC, obviously there was the shot from Daniel Bruce. Other than that, territory-wise, possession-wise, I'd say San Antonio have started the better of the two sides in the second half here, just popping the ball around. Again, neither team really troubling the goalkeeper. There was Farr who, kind of had that one covered by Bruce and pulled his hands back, but had him a little worried. Cody Mizell, I'd say, pretty happy with his night's work so far. Really hasn't had a whole lot to do. Again, a couple of little crosses into box, balls flashing across the box in the first half, but second half, again, while San Antonio have had a bit more territory, really struggled to trouble Cody.
And for New Mexico, I think it's just a matter of figuring it out going forward, right? As this, a yellow card shown to Justin Portillo. 56th minute. That is the third United player going into the book.
That was a really odd one there. It was definitely a yellow card. It was a poor challenge, and the strangest thing is I'm not sure he had to make it. There was so many bodies back. I'm not sure why he felt, and the way he popped up, it was almost like there was something said on the field, or something's been said, or something's been rumbling on maybe, because the way he popped up, it was almost like he was making a point. But yeah, that was a really odd challenge to make when New Mexico United had plenty of bodies back.
Portillo perhaps just a little frustrated with how things have been going here this evening, as that one goes off the crossbar. San Antonio knocking on the door, and eventually New Mexico get out unscathed. But there the visitors were inches away from going ahead.
I think that was Garcia, was wide open. There'll be an inquest into that one. Wide open, ball played deep to the far left side, played back across, and there's Garcia. I guess it wasn't wide open. It was Harry Schwartz was challenging him, but he got up so early and got great connection on the ball as well. New Mexico United dodged the bullet there.
Yeah, Schwartz, you could tell he jumped late and was just immediately sent backwards. This ball chipped forward looking for Christian Nava, and Yasser Kamiri deals with it. It's Justin Portillo. Portillo again growing more and more frustrated in that midfield. He's got to keep his composure here with over half an hour remaining already in the book. Garcia goes to ground. Garcia on the ground, and eventually the official, Michael Radchuk, stops play and calls for the training staff, as looks like it could potentially be a head injury.
Yeah, I think Santi just kind of separated him from the ball, I guess you would say, but maybe see if his arm's a little high here, maybe at some point.
It looked like maybe on the way down.
Just caught him on the back of the head on the way down. Completely accidental. I'm not sure the contact warranted that reaction there either, but it was a completely incidental contact there. There was a promising break. I think that's why the fans are so upset here. There was a promising break. Daniel Bruce had room to run into there, and obviously, there was San Antonio players were out of position.
Well, we've got a moment, fans. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2022. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Couple of subs here for the home side, Chris. We're going to see Carl Saint-T and Preston Tabordataka exiting the match. Entering for New Mexico, you're going to see forward Nico Brett and midfielder Sam Hamilton. Substitutions brought to you by REDW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. That is Preston Tabordataka, the Cameroonian, making his way off. Played 299 minutes coming into this one. Make that 359 following his 60 here today. And Nico Brett, the man who needs no introduction, 3 goals in 5 league games this season. That leads the team. He's also 6th all-time in USL Championship history with 65 regular season goals. It's a score update for you. RGV and Sac Republic tied 1-1, 89th minute. That's going to be a Bank of America corner kick for New Mexico. Over 4,600 locations, convenient banking just around the corner. It's Justin Portillo set to deliver. Nico Brett has 3 league goals this season, also scored in the midweek against Phoenix Rising in that 2-1 loss. Portillo, back post, and eventually it's cleared out by Collier. Tete will let that roll out. It's going to be a throw in here for the black and yellow. Plays this one forward. Farr has to go out and grab it, and he does. Seymour and Harry Swartz were both there. Here's Maloney. Back to Abu. Christian Nava now. Christian Nava on the run. Still Christian Nava. Cuts it back. Here's Christian Nava. And the 18-year-old may have just rejuvenated the 11,000 plus here at the lab. He wins the corner kick. He gets a high five from his locker mate, Chris Weehan. And New Mexico, here in the 63rd minute, showing some signs of life.
You could hear, like, it was almost like sort of like a little shot of electricity into the fans there, just as he starts running, and then everyone realized he's going to keep on going, And the San Antonio defenders were terrified to touch him because he could have gone down at any second. Great run by Christian Nava.
Corner played in, doesn't beat the first man, it falls to Hamilton. Bruce now puts a challenge in, the advantage played. Here goes Maloney being chased down by Sam Hamilton. Maloney cuts it in, finds Dillon now. Here's Justin Dillon. Justin Dillon goes down atop the box, and he wins the free kick. Sam Hamilton whistled for the foul.
That was very, very close to being in the penalty area. You can see that's what Collier is pointing at right now, is that he thinks, as he would, that it was in the 18-yard box there. A little bit, Sam Hamilton just got caught a little bit there. Dylan was driving inside, just dangled a leg at him there. Quick break. We said at halftime about the transition from San Antonio. New Mexico United caught numbers, poor corner delivery, caught with numbers up the field. And yeah, Sam Hamilton had to deal with that. That is right on the line. That is very, very close to being. There was a second there. I thought you actually pointed to the PK spot.
I agree. He initially walked up and motioned. You can see on that replay. I don't know if we can get one more look at that. He initially walks up, motions down at the ground, and then points inward.
Yeah.
So it was at that point where I stopped talking. So let's get another look at this. You can see the foul occurs on the line. Dylan's foot is on the line. So he walks up to this spot here, and then it's at this moment where he points. And now the decision has been made. It will be a penalty.
I mean, I'd have to say they got the decision right. And,
I agree.
You know, it's unfortunate as it is for New Mexico United fans, and obviously, you know, maybe the fans can't see what we can there, but I'd say based on the replays that we've seen, the line is classed as in as well. So I would say that they came to the right decision there, and it was very, very close.
We're going to have a few more looks at this. Great work by our crew behind the scenes. As you can see, I mean, the crowd getting another look at it here. That may not be the best vantage point. This is the one that we've been looking at, and there you can see it's a penalty. It's a penalty.
It is funny though, watching the actual thought process of the referee there, where you can see he thinks it's a free kick. Then when he gets closer, he's like, actually, I think it was inside the box. And again, I would say now, after watching that back, I think that was the correct call.
Justin Dillon up at the penalty spot here for San Antonio. Justin Dillon with no goals this season so far. San Antonio looking to take the lead. Penalty kick was won by Collier. Justin Dillon. And he gets it past Cody Mizell. And San Antonio take the lead. It's Justin Dillon scoring his first goal of the season. And what a big goal it is.
Massive goal, and you can see Cody Mizell trying to rally the back line and trying to rally New Mexico United players there. But, I mean, huge amount of pressure on Justin Dillon there, because that was a long wait. There was a lot of organising, there was a lot of things, and just smashes it right down the middle. Just backs himself, backs that. He thinks Cody Mizell will dive one way or the other and smashes it right down the middle. Great PK.
Justin Dillon with his first goal of the campaign. He scored 7 times in 29 appearances for San Antonio last season. Off the mark here in this 2022 campaign. So Hamilton, the sub that had just entered the match, making a crucial error in conceding the penalty. And New Mexico have to be careful here as San Antonio look to be on the front foot.
And you can see it was almost a combination of, I think it was Yearwood, or was it Tete, and Hamilton as well, where they just kind of sandwiched Dillon more, you know. So it was more awkward, you know. Like I definitely think Sam Hamilton kind of dangled there because of the presence of the other defender. I think the other defender wasn't there. He might have maybe nicked the ball and tried to run it around the outside, but because of the other defender there, he maybe tackled it just a slightly different way. But yeah, I mean, again, it was that transition moment though. It was, you know, we were caught and they had to sprint 70 yards to get into that position to even defend, you know.
It all started with the poor delivery off the corner. As we mentioned earlier, Justin Portillo has not had his best game here tonight. As we were expecting over 11,000 here tonight at the lab, it has now been confirmed 11,420. So a huge crowd here tonight at the lab, watching New Mexico do battle here with San Antonio FC. We've got a offside flag raised here on the near side. Assistant referees, you've got Bennett Savage and Chris Canales. Our fourth official is Christian Campo Hernandez. Michael Radchuk is commanding the action on the pitch. .70 minutes gone by. New Mexico looking to extend their home unbeaten streak. It is currently the longest in USL Championships, sitting at 17 games. Their most recent loss here at home was back on May 29th of 2021. It was a 1-0 loss here at the hands of Loudoun. That game, of course, Austin Yearwood was sent off early off a strange red card that was later rescinded. Here's Wehan, plays it forward. Nava was back on side. Portillo now. Hamilton. Bruce, far side. Here's Daniel Bruce. New Mexico searching for an equalizer. That falls to Tainter, and Tainter just has to deal with the pressure there.
That was a little awkward there, but you can see very patient by New Mexico United, just working the ball around, probing, trying to work out where the gaps are.
Jordan Farr able to corral that one. It looks like we may see a couple of subs coming in here for New Mexico at the next dead ball. Be expecting a second appearance of this season for Jerome Kiesewetter, and the same for Radio Vuka, as the offside flag is up on Elliot Collier. And it's going to be Chris Wehan making way as Jerome Kiesewetter enters in. Kiesewetter acquired from FC Tulsa in a trade for Brian Brown. Kiesewetter, having spent time at Inter Miami, FC Tulsa, and Sac Republic over the past 3 years. His only appearance so far this season has been as a late substitute in El Paso. There on your screen is Radio Vuka, making his second appearance in USL Championship. Made his pro debut the last time we were here at the lab. Radio Vuka replaces Harry Swartz. Those substitutions brought to you by REDW, CPAs, and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. Yearwood. So Zach Prince really going for it here, Chris, with just under 18 minutes left of the 90.
Yeah, it was, we talked about it earlier, like what could he try and...
Here's Kiesewetter. Kiesewetter cuts it back. Shot attempt is blocked. Falls to Christian Nava. And now Bruce! And Daniel Bruce is dying to hit the back of the net here tonight.
I don't know about you, but from the angle that we were at, I was just waiting for the net to bulge there. I thought he'd caught that sweet as anything. But yeah, as we were saying, Zach Prince backed into a corner here. We were saying, what would he try, maybe give up to try and generate some offense? And that's it. It's been a very quiet night for Chris Wehan. It says a lot when obviously we've said Christian Nava's name a lot more. He's been involved. He's been that spark every now and again. There's that little buzz around him every time he gets on the ball. So Zach Prince rolled the dice and put all his cards on the table. It's going to be this group now that try and drag New Mexico United back into the game.
4 substitutions used for Zach Prince. Still has the ability to use one more prior to the 90 finishing. Here's Yearwood. New Mexico searching for an equalizer. 11,000 on hand here at the lab, cheering on the black and yellow. The all-time series, 5 wins to New Mexico, just 2 wins to San Antonio. These two teams played 4 times last year. New Mexico victorious 3 out of the 4. New Mexico won both matches here at the lab. As Ovuka goes to ground, no foul called. Seymour rises up to win the header there, does very well.
It was a great win by Seymour there. I thought for a second that he'd been caught. But yeah, did really well to just get anything on that, and Rashid Tete was close enough to clean up afterwards as well. But you can see there's a little change in urgency, a little change in tempo from New Mexico United. Now they're popping the ball around a little bit quicker, definitely trying to make things click in an attacking sense.
Here's Austin Yearwood. Miscommunication there with Kiesewetter. Here's Collier with Daniel Bruce tracking back. Collier able to squeeze by Daniel Bruce. Here's Elliot Collier. Plays it forward for Dylan, and Cody Mizell has that one covered. Less than 15 minutes remain. Brett with the header there. Abu connects with Collier. And Collier gets a generous bounce. Collier still in possession, and Mizell has to come up with the save there.
That was a big save. That was a big save. Like, it wasn't exactly the prettiest opening that's ever been worked, but it bobbles around, it just finds, and it was, you could hear like the collective breath being held around the stadium there, with Collier just driving into the penalty box, and there, see, just kind of, it's really awkward, manages to pop up, and yeah, Cody Mizell does really well to stand tall, stay big, and just pop around the post.
So Bank of America corner kick coming up here, 76th minute. Headed away by New Mexico. San Antonio, for their 2 wins here in the all-time series, neither one of them have come at the Lab. Looking to accomplish that here tonight, as the foul is going to be called. So we've got full-time Switchbacks taking down FC Tulsa 2-0. You can see there in the top corner of your screen. New Mexico trying to avoid that same fate here tonight. It was Connor Maloney that was fouled. Abu will head over for the Fiesta Auto Group free kick. So substitution here for San Antonio. We're going to see former Colorado Springs switchback Deshane Beckford enter here for San Antonio, making his 5th appearance for the club. Spent last season with Switchbacks where he made 29 appearances, scored 5 goals. Prior to that, spent 2019 and 2020 at RGV. So Deshane Beckford, no stranger to playing against New Mexico United or at the Lab. And that just really changes up what you're able to do up top when you bring in a player like Deshane Beckford, who's much smaller than Elliot Collier, possesses much more pace, Chris.
I mean, based on the last one, Collier wasn't exactly a slug. Wow.
Ball bouncing around. Ovuka just clears the danger.
I think that hit the post. That was a really weird angle from where we are, but the way that ball came out, and no one really reacted in the crowd, any of the players really, but...
Yeah, unable to tell from our vantage point up here. Another Bank of America corner kick here. This is Abu going to take this. Abu goes back post, headed back into the thick of things and right into Cody Mizell's hands.
It's a little concerning thing for New Mexico United right now, which it seems like every time the ball goes into the box, into their penalty box, it looks dangerous. It looks like there could be something that's coming from that. So yeah, that's something that they will look to address. And like I say, I am sure that not the last corner, the one before, and that my eyes are completely playing tricks on me. Oh, I think that crushed off the post there, the near post.
I couldn't tell if it was the post or one of the defenders. This is Portillo. Goes across the pitch for Austin Yearwood here on the near side. The Colorado native Sam Hamilton. Seymour out to Christian Nava. Nava looking up ahead for Daniel Bruce. Throw in here for New Mexico. Just over 10 minutes remain. Bruce with the long throw in, looking for Kiesewetter. Headed away by Kamiri. And Beckford, or excuse me, not Beckford, that's Gomez, doing well to win the goal kick there off of Daniel Bruce. Can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Since Beckford's come on, San Antonio made a little tweak to their formation. They've definitely gone a back four. Gomez has slid back to just a regular left back rather than a left wing back. Garcia right back. Two centre backs still the same. And Dylan is the lone striker. So 4-5-1, very much maybe a come and try and break us down, New Mexico United.
You know, and for all intents and purposes, New Mexico United have not been successful here tonight. Jordan Farr has had to make a couple of saves. Nothing, too drastic. There's been a couple of distance attempts from Daniel Bruce, but really nothing that's troubled Jordan Farr.
No, 100%, and that's we talked about that earlier on. We talked about that over halftime. That's what the New Mexico United staff had to try and fix. Was while they'd done a good job of keeping the back door shut, they had to start generating some chances, and so far they've been few and far between.
Here's Beckford. Beckford nearly losing Tete in the process. Sets up Dylan. And Dylan just drags it wide. Great work by Deshane Beckford. And Dylan, he'd love to have that attempt back.
Yeah, I mean, he had probably a little more time than what he thought in there. He might have even had time to take a touch, which is a little worrying. But yeah, you would have to say right now, if there was going to be a second goal in this game, it's probably coming in the form of a San Antonio second.
Mizell out of his box. Long ball played forward. Unfortunately, I don't think Nico Brett necessarily possesses the height to cause some trouble on something like that.
And Nico Brett, since he's come on, we haven't said his name too many times. There was one time Radio Vuka absolutely pinged a ball into his head. And I'm sure that's not the kind of service that he thrives on, and it did. Yeah, I think he said it was almost like a defensive header. So yeah, he's been starved of any kind of service as well, and that's the maybe a difference that New Mexico United need to try is, can they get the ball right now? There's a lot of possession like this. The back three, I would hazard a guess, have touched the ball more than anyone else on the team. And can they get this kind of possession 25, 30 yards higher up the field?
Here's Yearwood. Yearwood turns on the Jets. Kiesewetter, he's fouled. Jerome Kiesewetter, the Berlin, Germany native. Looks like the book is coming out. We may have a yellow card. Let's see, our official just making his way over. It looks like the yellow card was already issued, so we'll do our best to relay that information over to you. It was on Garcia for San Antonio. Yellow cards, of course, brought to you by Wendy's. Tete. Up ahead to Nico Brett. Finds Christian Nava. This is Portillo now. And Kiesewetter just got a flick on that one. No. Actually, let's see. It looks like they're going to say offside. I'm not sure what happened there. Was handball the call?
I think it looks
Maybe
like
handball?
the way he's gesticulating there that there was a handball, but I guess we're missing a lot tonight, mate. But yeah, so when this ball's played in, there we go. From our angle again, we're directly behind that. It looked like it came off his knee, but good spot. Just clips off his hand on the way through there.
Fifth and final sub used for Zach Prince. Michael Azira enters the match for New Mexico as he replaces Rashid Tete. Here's Portillo. And Portillo, he was going for goal on that one, Chris.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't messing about with that one. It looked like it just didn't quite have enough dip on it at the end there to trouble far.
The 86th minute, starting to see some of the black and yellow faithful heading for the exits. Looks like New Mexico's 17-game home unbeaten streak may be coming to an end here tonight. The hands of San Antonio FC. This ball falls for Beckford. And Beckford was immediately closed down by about 5 black and yellow kits. Hamilton gives chase to this one. He's beaten to it by Gomez. Maloney scoops it forward. Here's Gomez. Bruce is fouled. New Mexico will look to play quickly. Beckford will prevent that from happening. New Mexico opened up with 2 wins to start the league season, followed by 2 draws. It's looking like it's going to be 2 losses following that, Chris.
Yeah, you got to say it's been a disappointing week for the black and yellow if this scoreline holds.
This is Nico Brett. Now Christian Nava pings it forward for Nico Brett. And Kamiri just boots that one. Does not go very far at all.
Did upwards.
Nava is going to be called for the foul on Maloney. And every person in here, the entire 11,420, letting our official Michael Radchuk know what they thought about that one. It was a push.
Yeah, I mean, but if he hadn't slipped over, would it have been a foul?
No.
Probably not, yeah.
89th minute. Seymour is going to draw the foul there. That foul is called on Justin Dillon. Seymour looks a little shaken up. Here's Cody Mizell. El Gato Naranja, as they call him around these parts. Yearwood looking to play this one forward for Azira. Kiesewetter and Azira both there to win the throw-in. New Mexico are giving everything they've got here to try to steal a point late. So into the 90th minute we go. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Brought to you by New Mexico Pinon Coffee. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. 5 minutes, Chris. It's quite a bit.
I mean, certainly the game's not over, but, you know, again, how many times has VAR been called into action if you're New Mexico United? So that's the worry. I think right now it could be 10 minutes, and unless something changes, the scoreline's going to remain 0 at under New Mexico United's name. But yeah, I mean, there has to be a change in tempo, there has to be a change in mentality a little bit, and they have to throw caution to the wind if they're gonna get back into this game.
That's going to be a foul on it. Connor Maloney, and Ovuka came in with a little bit of a shove. And Ovuka is going to get a quick talking to. Ovuka made his debut a few weeks ago here, Chris. It was a late substitution. Picked up a yellow card in the 5 minutes he played. Nearly picked up a second as well. So he's got to be careful. Here's Yearwood into stoppage time. Yearwood plays this one into the 18, and Jordan Farr all over that.
That was just a hopeful punt down the field, hopeful lump down the field there. Pretty easy for the San Antonio defense. They've just kept really disciplined in their line and allowing the ball to just carry through to Farr.
Here's Yearwood. Yearwood has that one. He actually just loses possession. Didn't even have it poked away. So 2 minutes of the stoppage gone by. Still 3 minutes remain. Not over yet for the black and yellow. Here's Will Seymour. Supporter section trying to will their team to a point here tonight. Instead of tasting defeat for the third time in 7 days. Here's Christian Nava. Is this the spark New Mexico needs? Here's Christian Nava again. Cross goes in. And it's headed away by Maloney. It falls. Portillo. Nico Brett. Falls to Kiesewetter. Ball still loose. Azira. Ovuka. And it's saved.
Wow. Where did that come from? That's the spark that we talked about earlier. Christian Nava, every time he gets the ball, he tries to just run at people. He's terrifying. It was Gomez there. Turned him inside out. Great save though.
Portillo crosses this one in from the corner. Kamiri sends it out. Here's Bruce. Here's Christian Nava again. Marked by Dylan. Here's Christian Nava. Goes to ground. No foul called. And it's going to be a goal kick here for San Antonio. But the sequence before that, Chris, wow.
Yeah, like I say, Christian Nava really dangerous. Got himself isolated on the right channel there. Diced Gomez inside out there. Put a great ball in. Ball bobbles around a little bit. I think it was Kiesewetter had a bite of the cherry. Then it pops out to Azira. He tried to have a shot. Eventually finds its way to Radi Ovuka, who hits an absolute screamer, and great save by Farr. Hasn't had much to do. Has had to concentrate for long periods.
Ball played forward. Nico Brett. And this ball chipped over. And what a defensive play by Mitch Tainter. New Mexico doing everything they can to steal a draw here tonight. Into the final minute of the 5 allotted stoppage minutes. Cody Mizell is forward. Justin Portillo's at the corner flag. Corner goes in, back post, Farr. And that is no issue at all. Farr will unleash this one. Mexico still clawing their way, looking to find a point. Kiesewetter is fouled, and they better move quickly here. Just 20 seconds remain. Ball played forward. Here's Ovuka, and Ovuka wasted the chance.
That's not what you want in that situation. Radio Vuka there, you can see he just wants the game to be over. He wants the ground to swallow him up there. Just gets his footing wrong, blazes it over the bar, trying to put some pace on a cross, and just gets it terribly wrong.
This goal kick by Jordan Farr. No, it will not be the final kick of the game. Maloney scoops it forward, and that will be the final kick of the game. San Antonio FC victorious in front of 11,420 fans. Their first victory here at the Lab in a hard-fought contest, 1-0, Chris. Your initial thoughts real quick, please.
I mean, you can see how much San Antonio put into this. They're dead on their feet. They all just dropped down to their knees. Huge result for San Antonio.
So let's go ahead here and look at our man of the match. And that is going to go to none other than number 45, Christian Nava. He is the youngest player to get their first professional start in New Mexico United history. Man of the match presented by Pepsi is Christian Nava. And he provided a spark late, Chris. Nearly saw New Mexico score an equalizer. The Rio Rapids product, Guadalajara Chivas, Albuquerque High. This is the play of the match here from Daniel Bruce. This is the shot on goal. He had multiple shots from distance, did Daniel Bruce, looking for another worldie, but sending that attempt just wide. The play of the match brought to you by Michelob Ultra. And this, our save of the match by number 24, El Gato Naranja, Cody Mizell, in the 70th minute. This is his second match back with New Mexico United, his first match back at the Lab, as that is presented by Invigorate Roofing. Cody Mizell had that one covered. We'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap things up.
Game time.
From day one, REDW has been an integral partner, the first companies to say yes to the crazy idea of this soccer team that we all love. Because of REDW's belief, support, and expert financial guidance, United is in a better place today. Their focus on community-first initiatives is perfectly aligned with United's ethos. When they say integrity counts, they mean it, and we are forever grateful and thrilled to be partnered with REDW.
Welcome back here to the Lab. Ladies and gentlemen, it is full-time New Mexico 0, San Antonio 1, presented by Duke City Cares. And Chris, what can you say? It was a hard-fought battle. San Antonio walks out victorious, picking up their 6th win on the season.
Yeah, 6th win, 4th clean sheet of the season, 3rd for far, and you can just see why they are so hard, San Antonio, to break down.
These are tonight's full-time stats brought to you by Duke City Cares, your medical family. New Mexico able to get more shots in that second half, as did San Antonio, Chris, but only one of those shots on target for the black and yellow. Possession stayed fairly even as the match went on from halftime through full-time, and then we saw 7 yellows handed out here today.
Yeah, and it was, you know, it was a hard-fought battle for sure. It was a bit of a chess match for large periods, and it was just one moment of, if you want to say a mistake, or one moment of quality. Great PK under huge pressure for Dylan. So yeah, just one moment changed the match.
Let's go ahead and have a look here at tonight's full-time highlights presented by Will Ferguson and Associates. In a game that ended 1-0, Chris. Well, we've got some stuff here to show you. This was Christian Nava with a long run, and not only twice, we saw him do it multiple times, putting his defenders in a blender.
Yeah, and you can see that this is why, you know, we were curious to know, well, who was dropping out for him, and, well, you know, how he was getting his first start, and you could see he deserved every minute he got today. It was a huge high point for New Mexico United.
And that was Justin Dillon scoring the lone goal of the match from the penalty spot in the 67th minute. That is his 8th goal for San Antonio, his first of the campaign this year, and that proved to be the match winner. But the match would not end without controversy. Sparked all by Christian Nava's run here in stoppage time. This ball bounced everywhere. I think everybody might have gotten a touch on this one, Chris, before eventually it was parried away by Jordan Farr.
Yeah, great ball in. Nico Brett had a bite at it. Kiesewetter had a bite at it, and then eventually the ball falls to Radi Vuka on his left foot as well, and he gets a great connection on it. Yeah. And yeah, just pops out to there, gets a great connection, and that was the one save. That was the one time tonight that Farr had to be on guard and had to really be on his toes, and he earned his paycheck in that one save alone.
New Mexico, they're going to get a little bit of a break before their next game, their next USL Championship match, not until May 4th as they travel out to Heart Health Park to take on Sac Republic. San Antonio on the other side, well, they're going to have to wait and see who their opponent is in the U.S. Open Cup, but also they've got a match going out to Phoenix Rising on May 7th. That's going to do it for us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. For everybody here, our whole crew, Gary Williams, our director, Chris Hurst on color. My name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.